Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how to basically take a green screen and how to key it out. So when you start your sequence, it doesn't really matter what you start with, to be honest, because whatever you import, it's going to ask you if you want to switch to that. So I am going to import a bunch of stuff. Alright, so you may already have things keyed out the way you want. I'm just going to grab all of these files. I'm not going to use all of them necessarily, but I'm just going to grab them all for now. Okay, so like I said, if I go to my project here, I can then just drag in what I want, and the one I want to, the main file that I want to use is this joke.mp4. I'm going to, oops, I don't want to drag it all in, I just want to click that one, and I'm going to drag the whole thing in, and it's going to say, hey, do you want to change your sequence settings? Yes, I do. That way it's going to match up for the best quality. Okay, so we have here these guys just talking, all right, and you can, first thing I'm going to do is go to effects right here on the left side, go to video effects, and then they have image control and keying. Actually, let's just do the keying for now. And you can do chroma key. That's the old way of doing it, and it works pretty well. Go give it a try if you'd like. But otherwise, if you have CS6, some of the previous versions might have it, use ultra keying. So I'm going to grab that and drag it on this clip right here, drop it down, and all these options come up. Okay, and I'm going to ultra keying color. That's the first step I want to do. I'm going to click that little eyedropper and go to a green that seems pretty much in the middle of most of the greens that are there. And you can see I click on it and it makes the stuff black. Now it's not really clean though. I can see there's a little bit of white in there and whatnot. And you'll probably see the same thing on yours if it's not completely evenly lit. Alright, so what you'll do is you drop down this map generation, and if your shadows are higher, you're going to drop those down. And I'm going to go to 0 right now. The thing is, it might be taking out some of his helmet as well. I'm not really sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a title here. So you can go to title, new title, default still, which is fine. And this is, I'm just going to, you wouldn't normally do this, but I'm just going to do it so you can see what I'm doing. So don't do it in yours. But I'm just going to draw a white background here, or to show that it's actually a different color, I can change the color. I'm going to go red instead so you can see it. Alright, close this out, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this joke layer, and then I can go back to my project here and put this title in here, stretch it out so you can see it, and you can see it's doing a pretty good job. It's cleaned up pretty well. I can click back onto that joke layer, and if I want to see that, by the way, I can hit this little arrow right here, and it shows the little preview of it basically, and it looks pretty good. So again, I can kind of clean up the shadows. I basically want that red to show through all the way. And you'll notice though, I still have this other background there I got to take care of. So what I'm going to grab now is go back to effects, and you'll notice it has a 16-point garbage matte, 4-point, 8-point. I'm going to use this 8-point one. I'm going to drop it on that clip as well. And what it's going to allow me to do is, if I minimize this stuff, here's my garbage matte, alright, and it's going to basically allow me to bring in the corners as far as I need. Alright, and typically if I click on this, there you go, so to click on it right here, it brings up these little points. You can actually grab these and move them in all that you want. Alright, and then I want to go all the way to the floor with that one. You can see how I'm working this, alright. Not really much explaining to do. This is actually kind of nice if if it's not completely just a square. This is a nice way to do it instead of cropping it. Alright, and that looks pretty good. Yeah. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this red now instead. Alright, we don't really need it. So I'm just going to delete that. Let's go back to my pictures that I may use. So I want to actually just show you a couple of these, show why they'd be good or not good. Right here I have this background parking lot. This one isn't actually that bad, but it is in full sun, and it doesn't look like they're in sunlight. There's sun on this shoulder, and there's a little bit of light on this shoulder. You could probably get away with using this, but it's really not the best one to use. So I'm going to say no, that's not the best one to use. Alright, you could go with things like this. There's a studio. Problem with this is there's people in it. Shouldn't they be moving? So that doesn't really work either. And then there's also sometimes people get the wrong perspective. They use something like this, and even if that picture right there is obviously way too small, what I can do too is I can just click on that picture I can go to scale it up. But the point is, like, the proportion isn't right. I'm looking straight at them, but I'm kind of looking down at this studio scene here, so that doesn't really work either. So you got to make sure the angle's right and the lighting's right of the object that you're trying to use. And so I was just kind of looking around, typed in cloudy day because really there's no direct sunlight source. So I'm going to use this background here. All right, and again, it's too small. So if I click on the clip itself, I can go to motion here and scale it up. All right, and decide on how I want this to look exactly. I'm going to go with that right there. And you'll notice actually my guys are a little dark compared to the background. And one thing I can do for that though is if I click on their clip and this ultra keying right inside of it, they do have this color correction right in here. And I can take the luminance and I could brighten them up a bit. I don't want to go too much, maybe 115 or something like that. That's a little bit closer. Or what's kind of nice is I can go to 0 and get a black cut out of them instead, which is kind of cool because it gives you that iPod commercial look, I guess you'd say. But again, I can change that back to 115 and that looks pretty good there. Okay, so that's basically it. I'm going to show some more things with it, but if you got it from there, you're good to go. But let me show you some other examples. If I bring in, let's say, this other guy, just going to drag him into here. Instead of going out and keying all of his stuff out and getting the right colors and all that stuff, it's so similar to these clips over here. What I can do is I can just right click on copy these ultra keys. Actually, I should be able to grab both these at once. Nope, it's only going to let me do one. And I can right click in here and paste. Alright, and now I have the ultra keying on this layer as well, right? And I could do the same thing with so what I can do is I can drop this down and it looks all good to me. Oh, my thing comes up like that. It's kind of strange. But anyways, if I go to effects controls for this 8-point garbage thing, I can also copy that and go back to this Charlie clip here and paste that in as well. Alright, and it's not actually right, so I'm going to have to go through there and grab those points again. And again, if I click on it right there, I can just drag these in a little quicker. Oops, don't want to actually move him, I just want to move the garbage points. Alright, and I can't see the one that's off camera here. So the way I'm going to grab that one is that would be the lower left or bottom left, and you can also move it in by using these numbers here. So same thing with bottom right as well. Let's go in. Alright, there we go. And if you play it through, it's just him jamming on his guitar. And one thing I want to show though is you can have multiple things, alright, in there at one time. And obviously I don't need all of this, so I'm going to bring this in. And he's not in the right proportion, not right size, whatever else. Again, I can go to motion though, and I could rotate him around, scale him down, whatever else. And so maybe I'm going to put him more like in the archway here, and I can just grab him right now and move him like this here. And maybe in this case, it would make sense for me to also go to that luminance and bring it down instead, because he's kind of shadowed in there instead. So when I play it through, you can see he's jamming back there, and it looks pretty good actually. So, keep this in mind, this is different layers. I can also add a track. Right now it's 3 videos. I can also go to sequence, add tracks, and I'm going to add one more video track. All right. And if I scroll up, you can see I have another track up here. So if I were to copy this track by clicking on it, hitting Control-C, going over here and clicking paste, I could drag that up to the top here. And you can see it's actually going on my joke layer. So I want to make sure I drag that audio layer down too, and then slide it into place. And now I have 2 of these Charlie guys in here. But what I can do is I can, again, go to motion, and I'm going to scale this one larger instead. I'm going to go 140, and my luminance shouldn't be changed anymore, so I'm going to change that to 100. Alright, and what I can do is it's still actually, it's on top of them right now, but maybe it'd make more sense to grab this joke and bring that to the top if I want to make sure that this joke, make sure he's behind this other guy here. Okay, and so I can, let's grab this other Charlie guy, and maybe I'll position him a little differently. So put him off to one side. And I could make them like the same size or whatever, or I can make them gigantic, you know, whatever you're trying to go with there, which doesn't really make sense for this, but you could do it. All right, maybe I'd go like something like this, and I could put a little shadow under them. That's a whole different video. But there you go. And now it's gonna be looking grainy. It's not gonna be looking the best right now. What you'd want to do is hit enter, and that's gonna render it, and it's gonna show you what it really would look like. And I notice this area's feet aren't looking right, so I'd probably want to actually go back through that Ultra Keying and make sure everything looks good on that portion. Okay, so that's you know, using Chroma Key, a green background, and good luck. Have fun with it.